such an asshole.
So someone emailed me, an agent in the field emailed this links to a YouTube video and a private charity link. And I got to be careful about what words I use, not because anyone can say anything. I just don't want to give this person any help. No help whatsoever. And because there's so many leftists out there that would hate a person like me, like, I'll show him, I'm going to help this person. And so I'm just going to say he sent me this person's YouTube video. Then he sent me a link to their nonprofit account. And well, I'll just read it here. It's Clary original video content for you. The lesbian trap in a state that is red. We'll just say a state that is red. And I also had a request. I couldn't find it. Someone paid me for a regular video, and then he also paid me for an original. So here's the original. This guy didn't, but I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. So if you go to this person's YouTube video channel, they're an Etsy. It's a girl. It's a girl, I think, because they claim to be trans. I think it's a girl. Looks like a girl. I wish if you're going to be trans, you convincingly transition to the other. You're like, oh wow, I thought you were a guy. I think that out of politeness for the rest of society. If you're going to do it, you know? So there's no ambiguity. Don't make me guess. They had a whole skit on Saturday Night Live about this called Pat. It was funny back in the day when we could laugh at such things. We still can. But don't make me guess. I think she's a girl, though. She looks effeminate. I naturally want to call her she, so I think she's a girl. And of course, she has a partner. She's a lesbian, of course, because of course she is. And her crafts, I won't say what. She has these crafts, these Etsy crafts. And sit down, everybody. Sit down. Everyone got their sitting. You got your sitting down chair? Do you have your sitting down? Everyone got their sitting down chair? Okay, get ready to sit down. I don't want you to be floored. I don't want you to fall down to the floor. All the themes are rainbow and trans color, the pink and the blue, kind of like those pastel baby colors. Like it's blue, pink, and well, cornflower blue, pink, and white. The trans flag, which they came out with last week. That's all it is. That's all she does. Her craft, she makes a thing. I won't say what, because I also don't want this truly worthless person, not because she's trans or lesbian or anything like that, because she doesn't want to work. So that's what it boils down to. I don't want to help out this. And this person, no doubt, hates my guts. Even though I'm very libertarian and very like, oh, do what you want. Just don't ask me for money. That's the real problem they have with me. No, you don't get my money. And right off the bat, and you assume, yeah, you're damn right I do, and I'm right, and you should too. It has nothing to do with the cute little rainbow flags and the trans flag this person wears. It has nothing to do with the way they dress and the way they have that kind of amorphic or not amorphic, asexual, thick rim Rachel Maddow glass. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do that this person is not working. That's my only complaint with people. And like the typical cowards that these leftists typically are, they will run and go hide behind their traits and identities and things they were born with or they chose. Or I accuse at least, depending on what trait you're talking, like mental illness, 80% of you are faking it. And then changing your sexual identity, like what, 1/5 of Zoomers claim? No, like 18 out of that 20% are faking it. You're just doing it for attention. And then I will say once again, I'll point out once again, you don't see a lot of chemical engineer, gay, trans, bi, ADHD, whatever. You don't see a lot of jack-ripped Democrats. You don't see a lot of successful leftists. And the uniting thing isn't even necessarily their politics. They just don't want to work. They just don't want to work. And if there's a reality in the world that will not relent, it's that you're a energy consuming entity, which means you must go and get more calories of energy in to feed you, not to mention house yourself and clothe yourself. Like, you're not just born and the laws of physics bend to your will and you just wish things out of thin air. You have to carve a living out of the world. Now, with technology and modern markets and free markets and capitalism, you got to, do you have a smartphone? Oh, you do. Okay, shut up. We've made it a lot easier. We have the division of labor. You go and you serve coffee, and you go and you do accounting, and you go and you fix cars, and you go and you do whatever thing you do. And we all exchange money, and we are allowed to produce a lot of things at a low price, making things very affordable. But this person's making a craft. I guarantee you nobody wants it because these aren't impressive crafts. It's like, it's like the husbands that would come in and apply for coma loans for their wife. My trophy wife, who has no skills or talents whatsoever, except she was hot and I married her, she would like to start a bauble shop. Why? Because she's too lazy to become an accountant or a nurse or something that actually has a skill and a talent. So then you go to the GoFundMe. Let me click on this. And because they are in a red state, they view that they are escaping a tyrannical government, which you're not. You may not like it in this red state, but it's not a tyrannical government. And they want to leave this state so they could go to a blue state. They claim that it's dangerous for them. That's not true. I know people in that state. They're very libertarian. They'll let you, okay, do your thing. We're looking to move to a leftist crap hole. All right, fine. And we have no money. There's a bunch of woke leftist crap that they do to say, look, I so care. I do leftist things. And they say they really regret having asked for help. Why don't you get a job? See, it's the leftist. It's that they can't, not because of their politics. I mean, if you go back in my day, the Democrat Party was the party of the workers. They were union workers, real workers. Now they're the party of trust fund babies and people who fake mental illness. They're just sponges. They're the party of sponges. And so they give an amount that they need to move, and it's about what you'd expect. It's about what you'd expect to move. All right, a couple $1,000s. You're telling me between two people, you guys can't scratch up $1,000? You can't go and work at a place for a week and a half? And even then, have you guys not heard of Greyhound? Can you just rent a car? One-way car rental is going to be like a couple $100. What possible nice stuff do you own? You can't possibly have any nice stuff. You have no money. And the only reason I want to bring this up is not to pick up on this individual, but to show you guys, again, here's proof positive. You may hate it that these leftists, and I would say lying, hypocritical cowards who hide behind made-up traits that they do or do not, that they don't have. I'm sorry, that they don't have, because there are legitimately trans people and gay people and people with mental disorders. I agree, right? But for every one of them, as I've said many times, there's like 19 that are faking it. And isn't it always interesting that it is 100, like the correlation coefficient is 1.00, all right, maybe 0.98. With people who major in fluffy bunny studies and don't know how to manage, like don't know how to spend less than they make, aren't engineers, aren't accountants, don't go to the gym, aren't good looking, resort to tattoos and dyeing their hair crazy zany colors because that's easier than grooming yourself and going to the gym and dieting. And, like, the picture of the lady in at the thumbnail, if you recognize, that's from, a protest. I think it's some crazy French women who showed up to a protest naked, just screaming. They were just screaming. And you look at that woman's face, she's feral. She's mentally ill. She's miserable. And while you guys think, "Man, they get all this assistance, and how can't they?" That's another thing. I think, how can you in 2023 with all the assistance, with all the government money, with all the preferential hiring, she plays the part, she does look trans. Why can't you get hired? Why can't you work? Why can't you make ends meet? It's because they fear labor and work more than anything else in the world. You know how Rollo says what? Women hate betas so much they'll go to college for 4 years and $100,000 in debt and work a corporate job before marrying one. These people are so afraid of work. They'll go live in tents. They'll go tat up their bodies and say it has some kind of great meaning. They'll dye their hair. They'll join political causes and crusades. They will lick the genitalia of people that they are not genetically attracted to because it's edgy and it's cool. That's what their teachers told them to do. Anything to get value and purpose and meaning in life, as long as it doesn't require work. And where does it end up? It ends up here. Like, you could get all the government money in the world and you can't hang on. I got to figure out a car rental. Let me see what a car rental would cost. One way. I just want to see what the rates are. Come on, just okay. I have to type it in again. I thought I could just type in. Nope, that's not it. Okay. God, I remember why I don't like renting cars. Just please, just give me some numbers. They won't even give me a price. Okay, Enterprise sucks. Don't go with Enterprise. I will never rent with Enterprise ever again. One way. Okay. Here's okay, $28 a day from 20. Let's say it's 50. Let's say you got to go 2 days. Let's say it's an extra $100 because it's a one way. Fine, $200, huh? What is that life like? What's it like being a 38-year-old that has student loan debt? And you're going to let that albatross hang around your neck until you're dead because you're too afraid to go get a second job, assuming you even have a first one. What's it like when you wake up in the morning and say, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. I'm going to disrobe and go into the public square down in Paris and yell and just scream with a bunch of my other man-hating female friends. Or you know what? Instead of becoming a dentist, I'm going to claim I'm a different gender. To the point I'll even put it on the show and make it my entire point and purpose. And then I'll make crafts. That won't be and then and then when this genius plan fails, I will blame the patriarchy and straight people or Trump or whoever. What's it like? And I'm not joking, guys. Obviously, this is an extreme example, but 9 out of 10 leftists, 9 out of 10 Democrats, they are miserable people because they simply don't want to work. And that fear that they got to constantly panhandle, their entire fate and well-being is in the hands of other people. It's how an election goes. And okay, it's one thing to merely be a parasite, but to be an emotional parasite, to be an emotional like leeches just want to suck your blood. They don't get, but they don't like, oh my God, I'm a leech. I'm the greatest thing ever. I have this moral crusade to fight the human or the deer or whatever came through the water that I attached myself to. Imagine that your entire life value was based on traits you claim to have, fake having, or actually do have. Doesn't matter. Like your traits. And that you're not going to work, so you're never going to have money. You're going to go into debt because you're just too intelligent not to go to college. You're going to major in something stupid because you're too lazy to do math. So you're coming out of the gates by 25 at latest with $100,000 in debt, no real skills. And then on top of all that, you look at yourself in the mirror and you jerk off to it every day because that's the thing is your skin color or your genitalia or what you believe you are or what mental disorder you claim to have. What do you do at the end of the day? What do you live for? I don't know how you do it. I have a hard enough time. Like, for example, I couldn't care less. Oh, you're a white male. So I am. Didn't have a say in that matter. I have a hard enough, I don't get caught up on my traits. I don't get caught up on my politics. Libertarianism, leave people the F alone and let them be free. Pretty simple. I don't like, have you heard of our Lord and Savior, the evils of central banking? I don't go there. Just like, yeah, leave people alone. Let them be. Let them keep their money. Pretty simple. I don't base my value on, oh, I'm a libertarian. You still have a hard enough, like, God, what do I got to do? I got to figure out something to do today. What gives me value? What gives society value? What am I going to do? Especially if you don't have kids, because obviously I don't have. You have kids, then it makes sense. Well, ladies, you don't need to know that because, like, oh, children are icky and gross. You don't need a husband either. I won't give you point and period. You go get your MBA and be a leftist. That's what we'll give you. That's why all the white women, middle age, my age, are on the antidepressants because they're just having so much fun. They're so happy. And just enjoy it, guys, because they've wasted it. Look, I understand one thing if you want to help out the disadvantaged, right? Charity doesn't work, the welfare state doesn't work, but okay, let's just say you're well-intended. And I can understand that you want to make everything fair and equal opportunity, not equal outcomes. Yeah, that's a quick way to destroy an economy. And I understand social freedoms, obviously. Hey, this is my body. I like that type of person. Now F off. You got it. I wasn't effing in to begin with, but you mistook my hello for an effing in. Now I'm going to F off. Like, yeah, do you think that's your line? I don't want to tell you what to do. But when essentially parasitism and traits is your core to a being, holy mental illness and pain for the rest of your life, Batman. Achieving absolutely nothing. Oh, and now you got to panhandle because you can't afford to move. Two people can't afford to move. I think with gas, I think I threw everything in my truck and for like no more than $80 of gas made the move. So, for all you sane people who work real jobs and don't value yourself based on traits you have, made up or real, faking, that mental illness really pisses me off because there are people who obviously suffer from that. For those of you who are like upset that these people get all the government money and and still can't manage it, what would it be like to be them, guys? What would that be like? And it's got to be. Could you imagine being a writer in Hollywood thinking people want to hear your crap? Can you imagine you imagine how miserable they are? We can't make rent. Well, maybe you shouldn't have been a writer, or maybe you should have another job. Oh, well. All right. Let's go to the super chats, and then Cappy's going to go for a motorcycle ride. Reen Schwartzer, $5. Cappy, any thoughts on Barbie, or is it just more proof women do hate men, or hating men is good marketing now, considering it's making money? I think I didn't see it. I have listened to the Critical Drinker, a couple other people's review. I guess it's pretty clear propaganda. I don't know. I won't know until I see it, which I'm not going to. I guess you got to see if it grows legs, like see how much it drops uh, next week in the box office. But I don't care. Look, if women want to hate men because it's popular, or you just want to, okay, go ahead. I don't care. And if Hollywood wants to make movies and girls want to watch movies about misandry, I don't care. Go ahead and do it. I have more important things to do. But based on Critical Drinker and Midnight's Edge, and I trust their viewpoint. Not on Extraction 2. They thought that was a great. Like, that is a horrible movie. And I always, you got to be worried about going too far. Is everything now that's got a little funny joke at the expense of a guy? Is that misandry, or is it just a lighthearted joke? Penguins Zero. He didn't hate it, but it wasn't for him. So I don't. I think the fact Barbie made money was more due to the fact it's a very popular brand. Remembered by what, 3-4 generations of women. It looked fun. The marketing looked fine. You'll find out. We'll find out next week. I don't worry about whether or not women hate men and it's profitable or marketable or popular to hate men. Worry about the woman in front of you that you're asking out on a date and see if she likes you or not. That's about the only thing. Focus on your immediate and micro environment. Forget what Hollywood is doing. Ass Bucket, $2. Legit question. Are there any happy Democrats? I honestly don't think so. I mean, maybe Ocasio-Cortez, because she's so stupid that but she's got money now. Because even Hillary Clinton or Nancy Pelosi, I think they have all the money, but they're also miserable. I don't think I think Ocasio-Cortez is so stupid. She's like a blissfully ignorant child. I don't think there are any happy Democrats. Not really, no. I mean, there's got to be 320 million Americans. I'm sure somewhere there's a happy Democrat, but not as much as conservatives, Republicans, or libertarians. Nonstop Dre, $362. But they say reality and nature is a social construct. I would love to see an entity that requires caloric consumption to tell me how they're going to survive without calories, without going and expending calories of energy to get food that is more calories of energy than what they put into it. I'm going to love to see how that's going to work. It'll be very fun. Federal Reserve has committed treason. $2. Marxists and neo-Marxists are a Gnostic cult. I wish I was smart enough to know what Gnostic is. But you're right. There is a point where it goes from just a lazy sack of shit who doesn't want to work and be a parasite and live off of other people to where they actually have it as their value. It's a picture of this guy. He's like wearing all this Marxist regalia with the star and sickle. He really thought he was dressed up like a superhero. It's like, you're celebrating being lazy? What? I'm sorry for you girls. He must be a Democrat. Well, okay, don't expect too many good-looking rip guys who got a work ethic. Boys of Vision Productions. Whose stuff I have here? I was gonna go through your stuff that you sent me more thoroughly, Wisda. I cleaned out my entire office. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, avoiding hard work, expecting it to change. That is insane. Yes, it is. But they are so afraid of work, Wisda. They are so afraid of work. They'll go, again, go to the homeless camps, and not in California where it's sunny. Go to the ones in the Twin Cities. Go to the ones in Milwaukee. Like, what the hell? You hate work that much, huh? You're afraid of work. You'll suffer frostbite. I'd ask them to just try working once. Like, just try this. Just try this. Try working a full month. All right. Get 2 paychecks and see how things go. Nonstop Dre, $2. Cappy's next book, Success Without Work. Oprah's number 1. Donna Hannaford, our lovely Australian agent in the field, $2 Australian. What is a Democrat? Sounds like a demon quant. Yes, they're well, demons are a little bit intelligent. Democrats are they're just plants, man. They're plants. Vlad Elkins, $2. Wish I was a member of the Cynical Libertarian Society. Yes, yes. He might make an appearance this week. Wisdom Vision Productions again. T Rash, AAK, Mr. Steal Your Girl in the building. Wait, is T Rash here? Oh, okay. See, I'm on the starred only. I have only the we'll go back for Mr. Rash in the regular comment section. Bob, 10 generous dollars. By the way, my father is not a bump. He has a really good paying job, good work ethic, but ego was in the way. He wanted to show off to his family, which at the end was his downfall. Dude, that is huge. That is huge. And it kind of, I'd like to say, among this type of immigrant community, Asians, my buddy, his Vietnamese, dude, it's a dick swinging contest for all the siblings when their kids get married. Like, my son is getting married. They got to throw the most, like, it was a $200,000 wedding. I'm like, why don't you retire? What are you guys doing? What else? Was it East Indians that it wasn't just relegated to Asians? It wasn't. Middle Eastern cult. Oh, yeah. Especially Persians and so. Oh, we got to show off. God, Jesus, just save the money. Save the money and be free. You don't need Gucci underwear. Which at the end was his downfall. Yep. I'd be curious. Wouldn't regardless of what country your family came from, regardless of the culture in the country, wouldn't wisdom over the eons have taught every culture you hide your power level? Like, you don't let people know you got money. I don't know where that bragging comes in. I never understood that. Apotheosis intent, $5. Sad. Click in thumbnail. Could probably be a cutie if she didn't decide to be a demon instead. Yeah, she's. Think about this. How many women would be attractive if not 70% of women were overweight? What if 85% of women were healthily weighted? Do you know how many pretty girls there'd be out there? You know how not empowered, what's the word? Energized men would be to actually work and do so with their lives then? We're not your sex objects. You're right. You're not now. But you could be. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You could be a sex object and you could be a surgeon. I'd really be interested in you then. Ass Bucket, $2. AOC is currently live streaming on Twitch comedy. Okay. Yeah, so she's having fun. I think she's just not smart enough to, we got to kind of envy her. She's that dumb. She thinks everything's great. Frederick Kingston, new guy, 50 Singaporean dollars? Or those Swedish kroners? Most of my lefty friends are miserable because they have a severe control freak problem. Reminds me of narcissism. Yeah, I could see it. I could see also that they're some of the older ones. Could you imagine back in the 60s, 1965, you're all for the Great Society and the welfare state, and here we are 60 odd years later, and your socialism hasn't done any good. It's just made black people poorer, Latinos poorer, white women more miserable, white dudes more depressing in video game playing. The brothers are getting passports. I mean, you gotta. I can't imagine what it's like being a Robert Reich or Paul Krugman, where every single economic theory you've advocated and advanced has failed miserably, and by association, you are a failed economist. You're a failure at your life's work. I wonder what that's like. They probably don't care. They got their money. I guess they're politicians first. Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field. Happy Democrats are actually secretly Republican and conservatives. Gnostic means to go against the opposite is orthodox, equals the right way, kind of. Oh, you're just obstinate for obstinate. You just go against the grind to be a contrarian, I guess is the way. Because it's popular. Reed Schwartzer, 20 generous dollars. Got a copy. Gotcha, Cappy. Gotcha, Cappy. Just wanted to ask because Hollywood is kind of proving my in-person interactions. And I know you've beat us boys over the head with it, but it's just hard to understand I didn't do anything to them. Look, 160 million American women, not all adults, obviously some little kids. You're going to find every type of woman with every type of opinion on men. Some outright genuine misandrists. They actually hate men. I don't think that is the majority, thank God. And depending on age, but if we're to do the adult females, I only think about 10% of women actually hate men. Only 3% to the point that it's their value. Like if a real good proxy to that measure would be what percent of women major in women's studies or gender studies or whatever. That would give you an example of women who not only hate men, but that's like the defining trait. That's how they value themselves. Another 10% don't like men, hate men. And then I'd say the remaining, what are we at? 90%? Let's say 10% of women. Oh, not even 10. I'm going to say 5% of women really like men. Like generally speaking, now you got to be in the top 5% of men. Like women like, oh my God, I love men. That is so rare. But it's 5. So we're left with 85%. So let's split it 42.5%. Generally saying, 42.5% of women are annoyed and indifferent to you because men keep asking them out. They are annoyed, and so that has put them off to you. They're rather cool towards you. And then the other 42.5%, they want a guy in theory. They don't actively hate men, and they'll have male friends, but they're not like, oh my God, a man. It's look at the polling data. You guys are 7th. Of course, that was for younger gals. So, but I don't know. Doesn't hating another group of people get tiring after a while? I don't know. Maybe girls really get off on. I don't know. But I hope that's not what you're experiencing in the real world. Hopefully, you're surrounding yourself by women who at least don't hate you and they like you. If you got a girl, she hopefully loves you, that kind of thing. But they're not all hate. I think the biggest category, they're just indifferent. They're just like, meh, that's it. 85%, meh. $2, local thug. I ain't working G here. Some my Social Security money. Social Security, if that's a real picture of you, you're the best looking 65-year-old I think the world's ever seen. Thank you for the 2. T-Raw, well, special guest celebrity T-Rash in the house. Kneecap and Cappy. Finally caught you live. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, the past week I haven't been able to do live because the internet was smoked. We are, as I think I speak for everyone, we hope you're doing very well, T-Rash, and that you are catching them all. How do you handle all the extra surplus of the women with all the passport bros leaving? I mean, is there a line out your door? Do you make them take a number? How do you manage that? Drew, $2. Every liberal woman I've dated seems miserable. Dude, facts. Even back in my day, I'm like, what the? And I don't know if I didn't really put it together. Like the Democrats, they're miserable. I didn't see it. It hasn't gotten tuned up. We didn't have the internet to see it. But if my entire life philosophy was I'm oppressed and there's so much evil and systematic this and institutional that, and all these men have been oppressing our four sisters for eons, I'd be miserable too. And I don't know if I was a girl and there weren't any good looking guys because all the guys did exactly as you told them, became a bunch of soy boy pussy Democrats who live at home and live off the government, don't have jobs. I guess my vagina would be screaming for a little action or some real man dick action. But oh no, he voted for Romney. Now he's the enemy. Oh, and just imagine the confusion. Oh, the confusion. Drew, $2. Most extreme lefties have no concept of finances. Dude, no one has a concept that goes. Did you see Donald Trump just quadruple the money supply? AJ Gatu, $2 Australian. Kudos on going to the gym and looking better than MLD. Dude, MLD is looking good. I got to admit, he's working hard. And I've been busting my ass off on physical projects, but yeah, I'm looking pretty good. I looked great about a month ago. And then shit happened. So, but we're getting back to went to the gym today. Frederick Kingston, 50 Swedish kroners again, Singaporean something with an S. Also, hard work is king. You got it. Went from suicidal to self-worth when I began earning my right to be here. Yep. I'm bored. I feel like I got no purpose to live. Get a job. You'll have a purpose. Yeah. I don't like the fact I got to work on these projects, but you know what's better? What's worse than having projects to work on? Having nothing to do. Although I think I've worked enough. I would like to just go for hikes and ride motorcycles. Drew, $2. Every independent woman I know has no retirement. Yeah. Oh, don't get me going. Don't get me going. T-Rash, $5 again. I stole a ticket from the DMV. I needed it more than them. Oh, one of the ticket dispensers. Good for you. Good for you. I'm glad. Could you guys imagine the T-Rash waiting room? Like there's a line. All the girls are in there waiting, and he comes out. He got his gold chains and his freaking bathrobe. Looking kind of like Modern Life John. Kind of looking like Modern Life John. He's got some Gatorade. All right, ladies, who's next? Down some of that. All right, there you guys go. All right, thank you very much for all the super chats. Don't let them get you down, guys. Just look, if they want to go and live a life of hate, just let them go live a life of hate. And the leftists in general, if they too want to live a life of hate and laziness and just let them do it. Just let them do it. Because the day's going to come. They're going to be old, and they're not even going to be, they won't even have the opportunity to go make themselves look sexy. And man, I don't know what's worse than a life without good sex. All right. See you guys later. Toodles.